The UK is currently going through a bit of a heat wave. It's not the first time this year and it won't be the last time. So what I thought I'd do today is actually just run through a couple of the things that I do on days like this, just to make running that little bit easier and that little bit safer. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to how we should be looking after ourselves in these hot conditions, but I will just give you a little bit of an insight into the things that I do to make it a little bit more comfortable for myself. So the first thing about running on really hot days is that you probably should pick a time of the day when it's at its coolest. Now, unfortunately, I've not been able to do that today. So I'm kind of running at about midday. Not the hottest point of the day, but a few hours ago it would have been a lot cooler. When it comes to running in the hot weather, I think this is one of those times where we should swap our runs up. We should deviate from the plan. And today, that's exactly what I've done. I'm meant to be going out and doing a set of 1K repeats. And I've got to be honest, I don't want to do that when the temperatures are hitting mid-30s. I just don't think I'll get any pleasure from it, and I really won't be getting the most from that workout. So I'm just going to bump it to later in the week when it's a bit cooler. So what I'm doing today is just running to the conditions. I'm doing an easy run. I'm just going out and getting a little bit of an aerobic fitness boost. So usually my easy runs are about 5 minutes per K. I'm going to be sitting more 5:20, 5:30 per K, and just kind of steadily work my way through this distance, which will ideally be about 10K. I'm also on this workout paying close attention to my heart rate. I'm purposely keeping it really, really low. Ideally around about the 120s, and keeping an eye on whether it starts to spike or not. And of course, if it does, I'll just ease it back and even walk if I need to, just to bring it back down to somewhere a little bit safer. Now, I think this leads quite nicely onto my next point, which is simple. It's okay to stop. If your heart rate goes too high, or you feel bad, or you just feel like you need to stop, stop. Let yourself recover and get going again. On a day like this, running is not about being a hero. If you do choose to go out and get a run in, you have to stay safe and you have to do what's sensible. So if you're uncomfortable, just stop. Don't let it get bad. Right, let's get moving again. Now, while we're talking about staying sensible, running in the shade is something I always try to do. So lucky for me, I'm running around a small little set of lanes where there isn't too much traffic, if any at all, and I kind of get my pick and choose of which side of the road I want to go on. So I'm going to purposely stay on the shady side. Now, of course, that isn't possible on every single part of my run, or every run that you might be out there doing, but where possible, try and stay in the cool, try and stay in the shade. A tiny bit of planning before your run is what's actually going to help you here. Just think about where you can go. Do I need to drive for 10 minutes to be somewhere safe, or should I maybe even go to the gym today and jump on the treadmill? Just a tiny bit of forethought will actually make your run a lot more comfortable and a lot safer. So whilst we talk about planning our routes, what I've done today is actually to plan a route. There's a series of small loops where I keep passing my house, and there's 3 reasons for that. One of them is I'm never going to be too far away from home. If I do feel that I need to bail or I need to stop this run at any point, I'm only ever going to be about 800 meters to a kilometer away from my front door. It's an easy walk back. It's not like doing, let's say, a 10K out and back, where I turn around at the 5K point and now I've got to get myself all the way home. It just allows me to stay safe, and if things get uncomfortable, I can pull that ripcord at any point. Secondly, I've got fluid stashed in my front garden. So it means that every time I pass my house, I can get some fluids in me and take a 30-second breather. I can go again if I feel ready to. So it eliminates that need for having to carry extra water bottles with me on a day like this. And the final thing is I don't generally take a phone with me when I run. I just find it unnecessary as something I need to carry. So what this means is that whoever's at home right now, they know where I'm going to be. They know the route I'm taking, and they know roughly how long this run's going to be. So if I don't make it back, they know where to go looking. Which leads me on to the next point. Make sure somebody knows where you are and know roughly how long you're going to be out. Now I know this is something we should do for all of our runs, but let's be fair, we don't. But just making sure that somebody knows you're going to be out, let's say between 12 and 1 o'clock for a run, and if they can't get hold of you after that, they know to come looking for you or to raise the alarm. What I tend to do is just drop that person a text if when I get back from my run and they're not there, they know that I'm okay. Just a quick check-in. Now I've already touched on a point that I've got fluid in my front garden waiting for me. And on days like this, hydration is so important. We need to make sure that prior to our runs, we're hydrated. We need to make sure that during our runs, we're hydrated. And of course, after our runs. This is the part that everybody tends to neglect. When we're hydrating, we don't want to be absolutely overloading ourselves with fluid. It's just slow, continual steps, just keeping ourselves topped up. So for me anyway, that's just a natural habit. I do drink a lot of water during the course of an average day, but on a day like this, I make sure I really stay on top of it. So before, during, and importantly afterwards. So just to give you an idea of the pace that I'm running right now, I've just done 6k. Usually my 6k on an easy run is about 30 minutes, give or take 10-20 seconds in either direction. Right now I'm actually closer to 34 minutes, and probably by the time I finish speaking I will be at 34 minutes. So I'm running considerably slower than I normally would, but in turn I'm keeping my heart rate down, I'm making sure I don't overheat, and I'm just staying comfortable based on the conditions. Right, let's get moving again. Now the final thing is protection, and there's 3 areas that I kind of protect myself from the sun. One is clothing, so I wear clothing that's going to protect me from the sun, but also clothing I know I'm not going to overheat in. Some of it's just nice and comfortable but easy to run in. Secondly, sun cream. I'm literally covered head to foot in sun cream. It's really easy to cover our faces in sun cream, maybe our ears, maybe the back of our necks, and that's about it. But don't forget, we've got arms and legs. Cover every single part of your skin that is going to be exposed to the sun. And of course, lastly, I've got sunglasses on, protecting my eyes from the sun. But not just the sun. Weather like this brings out more bugs and flies, and despite having a near infinite amount of space to fly in, they still seem to end up in one of my eyes. So glasses for me are absolutely essential, not just for protection from the sun. There we go, that's that 10k easy run done. Now I 100% know that swapping my intervals for an easy run today was the right thing to do. I genuinely believe that I would have been putting myself in danger if I'd gone out and done some max effort 1k repeats today. It is just simply too hot for it. I think if I was going to stick with that session, I probably would have gone to the gym, but the gym that I use probably isn't much cooler this today. So it just made sense to me to swap those sessions out and just do something that's a little bit safer in this weather. Now those are just some of the things that I do on days like this. And like I've already said, this is our second heat wave this year. We're probably going to have more. So it makes sense to just think about how we can manage our sessions on those days, because let's be fair, none of us want to take the entire summer off. Now, all of these things that I'm saying are just the things that work for me. They're the small things that I put in place to make a day like this a little bit more comfortable and to keep myself safe. And of course, it's going to be different for everybody. So don't take any of this as medical advice or absolute fact, because I'm not the expert here. I'm just telling you what I do and what I find keeps me safe on a day like this. But in the meantime, if you've got any other ideas of things that can keep runners safe on a day like this, then pop it in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, please try and like and subscribe. And also, if you do decide to go out for a run on a day like this, please stay safe.